In this video, I'm going to share with you what I think are the safest predictions from the coming round of the English Premier League and Spanish La Liga as well. Last weekend was full of surprises as Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City all lost their respective games. However, all my VIPP members on Patreon will still be celebrating as we had another very good week of accurate predictions. And even though Liverpool lost their game away at Brentford, and that game was in my top 5, we had them back to score 2 goals or more, so we still got up on that prediction. And neither the Chelsea or ManCity game made it into my top 5, but El Clasico surely did. And even though the result was not one that I wanted to see, my prediction for that game was still correct. So even though you're going to see me either wearing a Barcelona jersey or a Leeds jersey, basically because they're the only ones I've got, it only means that these are the two teams that I support as a fan. It doesn't mean that I'm always going to be predicting either of these sides to win just because I want them to. That would be silly. If you want to start making better footballing predictions more consistently, then come and join us in the VIPP on my Patreon channel. As every week I share with you my top 5 games for each round, multiple options for each game, and most importantly, my safest predictions for each game in order of preference that I myself will be backing. Come and join us in the VIPP. The link is down in the description. Welcome to Panenka Predictions, and what a weekend we have ahead. Tottenham host Chelsea, there's Liverpool versus Aston Villa, ManCity taking on Bournemouth, Brighton versus my boys Leeds United from the EPL, and in Spain we also have Real Madrid and Barcelona, both in action, looking to build on last weekend's El Clasico result. But let's kick off the predictions in the EPL this week with, hang on one sec. That's better. Brighton hosting my team, Leeds United. Brighton lost 4-2 away against Manchester United last weekend, but they did still play good football, and they were simply the second best team on the day against a Man U in rampant form. They beat Newcastle 2-1 at home the round before that, and it's at home where they're very, very hard to beat. No one's actually beaten them at home so far this season. Can Leeds United be the first? Leeds got a vital 2-0 home win against a really out of sorts West Ham United last weekend, but this weekend it's going to be a lot harder. Leeds do have some really good attacking players, and scoring goals is not really their main problem. Conceding them is. Leeds have conceded 2 goals in 3 of their last 4 games, and against this very attacking Brighton side with key players all in good form right now, I think they'll concede another 2 goals or more in this game as well. Brighton should get the win here, but for my prediction, I'm just simply going for Brighton to score at least 2 goals at home against Leeds this weekend. But hopefully Leeds win 3-2. Not likely. I'm skipping the Burnley Arsenal game this weekend, as even though Arsenal are the clear favourites to get the win in this game, something just seems a bit off for me, and I think that maybe Burnley can surprise a few people in this game. If you have a prediction for Burnley versus Arsenal, aside from a simple Arsenal away win, then share it in the comments with me, as I'd love to be able to see what I'm currently not seeing. Our next game is Crystal Palace at home against Brentford. Crystal Palace are playing quite a lot of games at the moment with their involvement in the European Conference League, and it seems to be affecting their results as well. They've only won 1 game from their last 5, and that was away against Dynamo Kiev at the beginning of October. At home though, in their last 2 games in the Premier League, they have scored 5 goals and beaten Liverpool in the process. Doesn't everyone? Palace always look good to score goals in most games, as they've got the big man Mateta up front in great form, and I do fancy their chances of getting a goal against Brentford. Brentford come into this game having scored 5 goals in their last 2 games alone, and beating Liverpool in the process as well. Told ya. They've actually racked up 3 wins from their last 4 games and will come into this game very confident of making it 4 from 5. This game could really go either way for me, but one thing I'm pretty certain of, and this is going to be my prediction for Crystal Palace at home against Brentford, and that is that both teams will score. Next up, we have Nottingham Forest at home against Manchester United. This is the new manager's first home game in the EPL, and it's against an in-form Manchester United. I, for one, was surprised to see Nottingham Forest beat Porto in the Europa League, but I wasn't surprised at all to see them lose 2-0 at Bournemouth on the weekend. How will they show up in their first home game with Sean Dyche as the new manager? Gibbs White, for one, will be hoping to get back on the score sheet after coming close in their last game defeat against Bournemouth. But without Chris Woods, who's out injured, his replacement Jesus has not been performing any miracles. Manchester United's last performance could be described as a bit of a miracle, as they finally managed to get the win over Brighton, who had beaten them in their last 3 games prior to the loss on the weekend at Old Trafford. Mateus Cunha opened his account for the Red Devils, and Mbeumo scored a brace as Man U racked up their 3rd consecutive win in a 4-2 win over Brighton. Prior to that, they also beat Liverpool 2-1 in Anfield, and they also beat Sunderland 2-0 at home before that. So Man U will come into this game high on confidence that they can take all 3 points. This is a really interesting game. It's a bit of a hard one to call, but for my prediction between Nottingham Forest and Manchester United, considering all the attacking talent that Man U have got right now, I'm going for Manchester United to score at least 2 goals away against Nottingham Forest. It's a London derby up next with both teams battling out for a place in the top 4. It's Tottenham taking on Chelsea. Tottenham, unsurprisingly, are still a bit unpredictable. One week they're losing at home and winning away from home, and the next week they're winning at home and losing or drawing away from home. They beat Everton 3-0 last time out in a game where both teams spurred quite a few good goal-scoring opportunities. Vicario made quite a few important saves to keep Everton at bay in that game, and he will need to be at his very best to keep out a Chelsea team that, prior to last weekend's surprise defeat at home against Sunderland, Chelsea had scored 10 goals in their previous 3 games. And they also missed quite a few chances to add to their early lead taken against Sunderland last weekend. So I think that this week Chelsea should get a goal, or maybe even 2 away against Tottenham, but I don't see them keeping a clean sheet though. I just think with the quality that Tottenham possess in attacking positions and the fact that they'll be playing at home in a London derby against Chelsea, I really can see Tottenham getting in on the goal scoring action as well. So that for me makes my prediction pretty straightforward, and I'm going for both teams to score between Tottenham and Chelsea. Liverpool take on an informed Aston Villa at Anfield this weekend, with both teams level on points on the table and sitting surprisingly in 7th and 8th place respectively. Liverpool put out a very strong lineup in their last game against Brentford, but they still lost, and that's now 4 straight Premier League defeats in a row for Liverpool. Every game now really is a must-win for Liverpool, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Arne Slot revert the team back to having 2 strikers up front, as the lone striker system doesn't seem to be working for them at the moment, and he really will need to get the formation right and get the players motivated if they are to avoid another defeat against a very good Aston Villa side. Villa beat ManCity 1-0 at home last weekend, and they also missed a few good opportunities to increase their lead in that game. They're now on a run of 4 consecutive wins in the Premier League, having beaten Tottenham, Burnley and Fulham as well. I think this is a really big game for both teams. Liverpool do tend to get the wins at home, Man U game aside, but in most of those games, both teams are getting on the score sheet, and really with all the attacking talent in both sides, especially Aston Villa right now, I think there'll be a few goals in this one as well. So for my prediction between Liverpool and Aston Villa, I'm going for both teams to score. Our next match sees 5th hosting 2nd. Manchester City at home against Bournemouth. And no, I didn't get that wrong. Bournemouth are currently 2nd on the EPL table, and I've said this so many times before, but Bournemouth have still only lost 1 game so far this season, and that was on the opening day away at Liverpool, and they still managed to score 2 goals in that game. They really do have an amazing attacking lineup with loads of in-form attacking players, playing well, contributing lots, and scoring loads of goals. Bournemouth have actually scored 10 goals in their last 4 games, and at least 2 goals in each of those games. So I wouldn't be the least surprised to see them make the back of the net bulge in this game. ManCity though, last weekend's 1-0 loss to Aston Villa aside, they've been playing better football, and especially at home, and they will still feel that they are the favourites to get the win in this game. But I think they're going to need a few goals to do it. But with the likes of Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva teeing up chances for Erling Haaland up front, they may have a good case for scoring quite a few goals. The last 2 times these teams met at the Etihad Stadium, Man City came out comfortable winners in both games, but Bournemouth did manage to score in both of those games as well. Maybe Man City's going to win this, or maybe even Ilson or Kluivert, or maybe even Semenyo scores the winner for the away side. And you guys really shouldn't be shocked if they do. But for my prediction between Manchester City and Bournemouth, I'm going for both teams to score. Do you think that Bournemouth can carry on their recent run and upset the Citizens in this weekend's game? Share your predictions down in the comments. Off to La Liga now, where we have current league leaders Real Madrid taking on Valencia. Well, Madrid just keep on winning, sometimes not so convincingly, and other times, like we saw last week against Barcelona, quite convincingly. Just as they do against all their opponents, Real Madrid played a fast, aggressive and dominating style of football, and they asked by far the majority of the questions of the opposition's defence. Barcelona, they were lucky to concede only 2 goals in that game against this rampant and informed Real Madrid. And I think that Valencia are going to find it much harder still. Whereas Madrid come into this game on a 5-game winning streak, and with the likes of Bellingham, Vinicius and Mbappe all in form, Valencia are winless in their last 5, and they've lost 3 of their last 4, and they have no one in form. They lost by a 2-goal margin at home against Villarreal last weekend, and this weekend they will be extremely lucky if it's not much worse. I can only see Madrid winning this game quite easily, I think. So for my prediction for Real Madrid against Valencia, I'm going to be going for a home win for Real Madrid with over 2.5 goals in the game. And yes, big surprise here, I think Kylian Mbappe will score again. Our next game in Spain sees Barcelona taking on Elche. Barcelona are still in second place, 5 points behind Real Madrid right now coming into this game, and they must get the 3 points here. Anything else would be a disaster. Elche though, well, they're not coming here to lose, are they? They've actually only lost 1 game all season so far. And they've won 2 from their last 4 games as well. So they'll come here with a game plan and look to try and unsettle the home side and catch them on the break or maybe from set pieces. There is a chance that Rafinha will be back in time for this game for Barcelona, and with Ferran Torres playing for over an hour against Madrid and Fermin Lopez getting back to full fitness and scoring goals as well, Barca should have enough firepower to outscore Elche in this game. So for my prediction between Barcelona and Elche, I'm going for a Barcelona home win with over 2.5 goals in this game. That's all my predictions for this coming round of football from the Premier League and La Liga as well. If you like this video, then please give it a like for me and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming weekly predictions videos. You've heard my thoughts, now I want to know yours. So leave your predictions down in the comments for any game that you think is very predictable from this coming round. Enjoy the football everyone, have a great weekend, and I will see you all again very soon.